y'all, be it the Pensacola Police Department, were the first people in the area in Escambia County to have body cams. When you were there, Escambia County Sheriff's Office did not have body cams, but you started bringing them into the police department.
Right. The first thing I did was looked around and I said, "What? We don't have anything to hide." Remember, we talked about how we feel we're the most professional agency around, and so I said, "Why wouldn't we get body cameras?" So I went to council. First things I did, and I convinced them to fund these body cameras on the Pensacola Police Department. Keep in mind, Escambia County Sheriff's Office didn't, Gulf Breeze didn't, Santa Rosa didn't. No area agency around here had body cameras, and some still don't. But we would be the first one. So it was met with a little bit, the officers didn't know. We did a partnership with UWF to do a little bit of a poll to kind of track, what the acceptance rate when we started compared to what it would be a year and 2 years out. And it was ultimately it ended up being a great idea. We had some good video that helped in cases, criminal cases, and in training, and it just a lot that we were able to use for the body camera. So yeah, we were the first agency, and then ultimately when I got elected, I did the same thing. Within a month, I went.
Well, I mean, you guys are almost like the experiment, like the crash course and how to do it, because y'all went through different models and learned different things about storage. And what I want people to understand is when you go to body camera, there's a whole infrastructure that you have to build behind the officer just having the camera. You got to charge them, you got to store the footage, everything else. I mean, y'all had to figure that out on the run.
Yeah, and that was the thing. And we also had to work with the state attorney's office to make sure, and the public defender's office, and all the criminal defense attorneys, and getting them the evidence, the discovery. And then we had to redact what we couldn't put out there. And then we had public records requests. We had a number of different things. We had to store them for so much. And we're not just storing, a copy of a sheet of paper. We're storing a video, and sometimes these videos are an hour long. And imagine the storage that I'm not a computer guy, but I know now the storage that it takes for us to make sure we keep that stuff by the state scheduling, of records. So it was a very big ordeal. It was, again, these are primitive cameras, so that I say primitive, they work, but they're right in the middle of their chest, and they had to come down, they had to download it, docking at the police department. Compared to now, it automatically docks when you get a certain vicinity of a docking station.
Right.
So it works a lot better. We didn't have cloud storage at the time. We had a terabyte or whatever we had of real hard storage at the police department, and then we had to work with the city of Pensacola. And again, like I said, we had to make sure that it's compatible with what the state attorney's office had.
When you made that decision, did you feel like there was outside pressure? Because, like I said, when I'm here at the time, I didn't feel like there was pressure from anybody, because y'all had it for years before the sheriff's office. It was really you,
right,
who brought it. So there's a pressure from the outside community saying, hey, law enforcement's changing, you guys have to have body cams, or was that more of your idea?
I just decided it's time to move forward. We talked a lot about the professionalism at the Pensacola Police Department, but really there was a lot of things that we were still antiquated in. And while we weren't necessarily antiquated by not having body cameras, because again, there was no push, and no other agency around here had them. There were other agencies that had them. I felt like it would be something that it would allow us a level of transparency that we haven't had before. And again, I was very proud of what we did and how we acted, mostly at the Pensacola Police Department. And I still am very proud of what they have at the Pensacola Police Department, and obviously very proud of what we do at the sheriff's office. So yeah, there was no pressure. I really hadn't thought about it until you just asked me about it. But you're right, there was no. That was the big question why some members of our union had. Well, why are you doing this? No one's asking for this. The city manager's not asking for it. The council's not asking for it. No one's asking for it. Why are you doing it? And it's just sometimes you get a feeling that it's the best direction. I'm the police chief for a reason. They want me to take this agency forward, to move us forward, and to make us better. And I felt like that's the best way to do it.